Have you ever been held back by fear? A fear so potent it paralyzed you from moving towards your dreams. It's a sensation we've all felt at one point or another. Fear, that icy grip that holds us prisoner, preventing us from reaching our full potential. Yet it's not all doom and gloom. Fear, in its essence, is a survival mechanism. It's our brain's way of saying, hold on, tread carefully. It's what kept our ancestors safe from threats and predators, and it's what keeps us alive today. But there's a flip side to this coin. Fear can also be a barrier, a wall that keeps us from growing, from stepping out of our comfort zones and chasing our dreams. It's the voice that whispers, what if you fail? Now imagine mastering that fear, turning it from a barrier into a stepping stone. Imagine using it as a catalyst for growth, for change, for courage. Fear, in its raw form, can be debilitating. But what if we could harness its power and use it as a stepping stone towards our aspirations? Imagine a young woman named Jane, afraid of water since she was a child. But one day, she decides to face her fear head-on. Jane lived in the shadow of her fear for years, allowing it to dictate her life. The sight of water, even in a small glass, would cause her heart to pound in her chest like a runaway drum. But as she grew older, Jane realized that she was living in a prison of her own making, one built from fear. There's a saying that the first step is always the hardest, and for Jane, this was no different. She began with small steps, dipping her toes in the water, feeling its cool caress. Each step was a battle, a struggle against the fear that had held her captive for so long. There were setbacks, moments when the fear seemed insurmountable, when she wanted to give up and retreat to the safety of her fear. But Jane was made of sterner stuff. She was determined to conquer her fear, not just for herself, but for all those who lived in the grip of their fears. She understood that fear is not a monster to be defeated, but a challenge to be met head-on and overcome. With each passing day, Jane pushed herself a little further, going deeper into the water, learning to float, to paddle, to swim. Her heart still pounded, but now it was not from fear, but from excitement, from the thrill of achieving what she once thought was impossible. And then, one day, she did it. She swam. Not just a few strokes, but across the entire pool. It was a moment of triumph, a testament to her courage, her determination, and her strength. Jane had faced her fear and emerged victorious. She had transformed her fear into fearlessness, proving to herself and to the world that fear is not a barrier, but a stepping stone to greatness. Jane's story shows us that with courage, determination, and the right mindset, we can conquer our fears and reach our full potential. So, how can we master our fears like Jane did? Let's delve into the key points. Firstly, let's think about understanding fear. Fear is not an enemy, it's a messenger. It's a part of our survival instinct, alerting us to potential danger. Just like Jane, anyone can deconstruct their fear by understanding its roots. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Is it the fear of failure, rejection, or uncertainty? Understanding your fear is the first step toward gaining control over it. Secondly, consider the role of exposure therapy. It's about gradually and repeatedly exposing oneself to the object or situation that causes fear. It's akin to taking a dip in a cold pool. The first plunge might be shocking, but with each subsequent dip, the water seems a little less cold. Similarly, exposure to our fears can help us become more comfortable and less intimidated over time. Next, don't underestimate the power of seeking professional help. Therapists and counselors are trained to help us navigate our fears and anxieties. They can provide tools and techniques that we might not be aware of or able to implement on our own. Fourthly, maintaining a positive mindset is crucial. It's about choosing to see the glass as half full, not half empty. Even in the face of fear, we can choose to focus on the potential growth and learning that can come from overcoming it. Lastly, let's talk about practicing mindfulness. This is about living in the present moment and not letting our fears about the future or regrets about the past control us. Mindfulness allows us to observe our fears without judgment, acknowledging them as part of our human experience, but not letting them define us. Remember, mastering fear is not about eliminating it completely, but transforming it into a force that pushes us forward. So, are you ready to face your fears and step into your fearlessness?